All right, in 3, 2, 1, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of Buddy Talks. I almost used a wrong intro. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm Marvin, and tonight joining me is Will.
Adam. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, we'll go with Will this time.
Yeah, it's Will. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
I'm doing all right. How's everything with you?
I can't complain too much.
Awesome. We have another fun-filled episode. I think tonight the topic we have, I'm jumping the gun a little bit. If you guys can go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and a written text review, that would be fantastic. Also, make sure to check out our other podcasts, In Our Honest Opinion and AdamAnalyzes.com. But yeah, tonight I wanted to talk to you about something, Will, because I was watching Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And we've talked about Disney streaming platform.
The DSP.
Thank you, live studio
Thank you,
audience.
live
That was
studio
awesome.
audience. Yeah, that was. And I got that on video.
Yeah, that's pretty epic.
That's good.
But to me, it feels like things before just seem so much better than they are now. And it got me thinking, are these just my rose-colored glasses telling me that stuff from my youth was actually better? Is it really not that great? Or has the quality actually dipped? And I'm referring to the movies, TV, music, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Are we just stuck in a nostalgia trip?
Are you stuck in a nostalgia trip?
I mean, I might be. I wouldn't be surprised. Because I was watching, Batman the Animated Series, debatably one of the best animated series of all time.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men from 1992.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Spider-Man from 1994.
I don't know the song. For that
It's a rip from the Spider-Man.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, except it's like
electric.
it's
It's
like
electric.
electric guitars and all
Yeah.
sorts. I forgot who did it. I think it was actually a notable like guitarist who did the guitar riffs in that one.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
those shows, it just feels like they didn't treat kids like they're idiots. That's the feeling that I get now. A lot of things are very spastic.
Yeah.
Some of the shows are great. Like, don't get me wrong, Gumball, I love Gumball.
Good man. Good man.
But it's very quick.
Oh, it is.
Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
That is dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The original Teen Titans that we had before,
Yeah.
I thought was awesome.
That's the one where they, at the end of the movie, that they made the cameo. Or
Yes,
whatever.
yes. And it just feels that a lot of times people, especially like companies, they want to have quick turnaround times. And the quality just isn't there. Yeah. We don't have the narratives with like the deep storylines because some of the things, like I said with Batman, it's kind of dark.
How far into the animated series are you in right now?
I just started. Just started.
Season 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But like Batman Beyond, awesome. I can't wait for that comes out.
Yeah.
It just, I don't feel like we get that stuff nowadays.
Batman Beyond, that's surprisingly, like, it's surprising that they tried something new, different, and it actually worked.
Yeah.
Hey, I can hear me.
There you go. You were talking very quiet, so I had to turn you up just a little bit.
Gotcha. Don't worry. I'll end up getting loud. This is my woosah moment.
Gotcha.
Woosah.
Before you
I'm
go into
taking it
it.
all in. Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right. I see where you're coming from.
And just like Bad Boys.
This is my Brandon voice, by the way. Shout out to Brandon.
But like Bad Boys, we had 1 and 2 I loved. They took a hiatus because Bad Boys 2 came out how long ago, would you say? I know it was like early 2000s, I want to say.
I'm going to throw out a number here, 2006, and I'm probably wrong. This is where you and Adam usually, you guys win here.
Yeah. But it feels like, do you think it's a little too late sometimes? 2003.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was off.
Wow, so what, 16 years later?
Yeah.
We have
And
Bad
we're
Boys
getting
3.
Bad Boys 3, yeah.
Bad Boys for Life. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. So I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Right? I think that some of that is right. The idea that nostalgia really does click for us. It helps kind of smooth out some of the rough edges.
Yeah.
Because I can admit, I've probably watched some movies that I've seen in the past and be like, I'm being very generous with
Oh yeah,
my
like The Gate. Come on now. Come on now.
Recently, we spoke about what's this Paul W.S. Anderson film, Event Horizon.
Event Horizon, yeah.
That's another one. So I think it's that, but I think honestly, I agree. Right, where I think the majority of it was that there was a point in time where people were actually willing to take risks, right, and push stuff out. I mean, granted, yeah, we got a lot of. How many Arnold Schwarzenegger films? You know what I mean? Like how many Stallone films? How many Bruce Willis films? Like
over the top. You had a film about arm wrestling.
Did they just start throwing these people out there? I get that, right? And they're like, let's just get what we can get. But I think that for a while there, though, there was some sort of enjoyment there, right? That there were stuff that they were trying to figure out, as far as filming techniques, and then actors in different roles. I think that's one of those things that I like. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I got a lot out of the 80s, early 90s, and then at some point that stuff kind of faded away, right? Yeah. Sequels ended up being a big thing.
Yeah, franchises.
They're like, oh, well, we can squeeze out a little bit more out of this cast of characters, right?
Yeah.
If we go ahead and do another one. And it's just like, do we really? And then as far as I think animation goes, I think especially once we like jumped into the early 2000s, it wasn't. They were. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Yeah. I think it's as the world has gotten more, PC or whatever, right? That like shows have had to change.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? They've had to make things
they
that
don't
are
want
more
to offend anyone.
Yeah, more palatable, right? Yeah. For all like age groups or whatever. And occasionally you'll get a show that kind of squeaks through. If I'm being completely honest, pay close attention to fucking SpongeBob. Like,
oh yeah,
there's a lot of stuff hidden in there. You know what I mean? And, and it's just like. I mean, I'm surprised you guys get away with it.
Ren and Stimpy would not be able to air today.
No,
definitely not.
No, and I can appreciate that some of the jokes are, I think are a little bit more mature, right? As opposed to like fart jokes or just crude humor.
Yeah,
I think some of the jokes are definitely a bit more, referential of the times, and I'm okay with that, and I can appreciate that sometimes. But I think overall a lot of it has turned into, well, how do I spoon feed this to the largest group possible?
Yeah.
And that takes away a lot. I think that takes away a lot from the creative process. At that point, you're dumbing it down.
Yeah.
Cartoons aren't as enjoyable.
They really aren't.
I like the fact that, like you pointed out, Gumball. I think Gumball is amazing, but that's one of those shows that I think a lot of other shows do that same thing. I'm not saying that Gumball originated this whole idea, but the idea that like you're getting a joke or a reference every few seconds. You know what I mean? It's rapid fire as the story progresses, and the story itself isn't like something simply linear. You know what I mean? Like it's completely over the top. One of my favorite episodes of Gumball starts off with the she didn't send me 2 smiley back emojis where she normally sends me, 3 or whatever, some shit like that. And then it ends up with like out, I think in a mountain and all kinds of animals attacking and, transforming of bodies and whatever the hell. There was a lot going on in that episode.
Yeah.
But I laughed so fucking hard, and it was just like, I mean, okay.
You're along for a ride. Because, I mean, you know what you're getting with that.
Yeah. And a lot of other cartoons, like I said, they run that same style or whatever. It just, I think it's very hard, for me to kind of latch on or whatever. It just,
I definitely don't feel that it's the same, especially this day and age, and everything has to be super quick. Everything is just firing at you, and if you don't keep up the pace, you're gonna lose someone. They don't have a lot of time to let things breathe. They don't really. You don't really see any children's shows nowadays that have like story arcs that go over an entire season or some overarching narrative that they're trying to dig down into.
Or, right, that actually is engaging enough to hold both the parent and the child, right?
Yeah.
Or the younger audience and the older audience.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, right, when you watch Batman the Animated Series, whenever you watch X-Men, I think even to an extent Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's, very simplistic, but then there's enough story there that actually keeps a more, advanced mind or whatever engaged. And nowadays, I don't think that's the case. I think it's you've got to go one extreme or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's very, very simple in nature, or it's, over the top running. I mean, what's this one on late night on Cartoon Network? The one with the fucking toys that they move them.
Oh, Robot Chicken.
Yes, Robot Chicken. Like that's
for
extreme
adults.
adult. Exactly.
That is
like
for adults.
that's it. Like
bitch pudding.
Yeah. So it's that, right?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, the other extreme to that is, all these fucking bubble guppies and Einstein,
baby sharks,
baby Einstein, like
VeggieTales. I don't know how all that works. I don't have kids.
Yeah, I don't have kids that young anymore. And thank God, as they've gotten older, I've actually been able to enjoy more things with them.
Yeah.
Recently, they watched all of Invader Zim. All of Invader Zim, and then 3 out of my 4 kids watched the movie that Netflix released.
Why only 3 out of 4?
The 4th one wasn't there. She was
okay.
Yeah, doing other stuff.
Gotcha.
But like they all loved it.
Yeah.
They all enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And that's something where it's all like, hey, like this is a good cartoon. Like, I was able to enjoy that with them. It had them engaged, laughing, in stitches. And the same for me. I got other jokes that they didn't.
Yeah.
But it was still it was entertaining. That's not always the case.
No. I know I've harped on you for a long time now. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
But that's one that a lot of people of a lot of ages are able to actually sit and watch because it has something for everyone. Mm-hmm. Especially in the very beginning of the series, it had a lot of stuff to appeal to kids. You had the fun characters. You had, they go on this little side adventure that's just kind of laughing and jokes.
Yeah.
But then they had some dark shit. Like when Aang
went
to his where he lived.
Yeah.
And he saw the dead bodies of like his mentor and stuff like that.
Damn.
It was
thanks, GoPro.
Pretty serious.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a kid dealing with loss, kind of having to be thrust into an adult world that seems extremely foreign to him. Everyone that he knows is gone.
Yeah.
And it was just something that you don't see often anymore. Because that was a couple years ago now. It's been a little while since.
It's been quite a while, actually.
That came out. That Legend of Korra was very similar. It had a lot of things like at the very end, assuming a spoiler to some, but it got a lot of eyes on it because it had 2 characters on it, both female, that were in love.
Oh, nice.
And that's something that you don't see that
you don't
often.
see. Yeah, exactly. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I don't want to shift too much of the conversation, but I do appreciate the fact that that's become more of a normal thing, right? On television and in film.
Yeah.
But it's not outlandish now where it's not just all like, oh, you can make 2 girls fall in love, where it's all like, no, like,
yeah,
that's a thing. You know what I mean?
It's normal everyday life now.
Exactly. So I do. Like, I appreciate the fact that it's incorporated across all media.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think that lends itself to that idea that like the storytelling in that aspect, you know what I mean? It's a bit more realistic, right? More relatable, and from early on, like the fact that the younger generation can watch this and appreciate the fact that, hey, look, like these relationships exist, right? And they're not just self-contained. These are things that extend out into like they actually exist in real life.
Yeah, it's not just in a vacuum. It's actually
exactly.
This is real. This is something that actually can happen.
Yep. And I'm a huge fan of that. I don't know, man. I mean, just to go back to the kind of nostalgic part of it, though, like, you can appreciate that. That you can appreciate those older shows because there's some sort of connection there. That makes it positive, at least usually, where you just are like, this is what I enjoy. I enjoy those 80s films, like, and I think I told you, we've definitely spoken about this before, where I watch Ghostbusters, right? Every year. Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Groundhog Day, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
There's just there are so many older films that I do watch and enjoy,
like all of John Cusack's career.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the great part is that like watching all of that stuff or whatever, it brings me back to when I was young and in at home. My mom cooking, or like my siblings running around the house. I remember watching them at. Here's a movie that I'm pretty sure you've seen, Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights, written and directed by Eddie Murphy, stars every major African American star of the time. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Charlie Murphy. Yeah. They're all in there. And that was one of those movies that I found on my grandmother's DVD shelf, just Coming to America.
Oh yeah.
And and I watch these movies all the time. I watched Harlem Nights maybe a week or two ago.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It was on something, and I was all like, "Oh well, fuck yes, I'm watching this."
Yeah.
And I watch, and I go through, and I thoroughly enjoy those movies. Coming to America is a great movie, but when you look at those films, right, they are a product of their time.
Oh yeah, you can't get away with a lot of that stuff now.
Yeah, and you can't. So there's definitely some of that nostalgia. When I'm sitting there and watching it now, I'm like, this is entertaining, right? It's entertaining. There are definite shortcomings. Stories kind of rush through. Whenever you watch The Lion King or The Little Mermaid or whatever, you watch these movies that are 70, 80 minutes long that just jump from one thing to the other. Yeah. It's all like, oh, this isn't paced, at a natural speed whatsoever. But the fact that, again, they take you back, to something that you
a simpler time
enjoyed, you're just like, no, I'll excuse it.
Yeah.
I'll let it go, right? Harlem Nights, terribly written. The plot, you haul ass through it. And before you know it, the movie's done. But it's funny. It reminds me of whenever I was in my grandmother's house, watching it, laying on the carpet and watching it because we didn't want to fuck up her couches.
Yeah.
She had those covers on them, that's just, it's that thing. And it's
the
just
plastic on the couch.
Yeah. And I'm not mad at that. So when I watch these movies, I just think to myself, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
And no matter what the flaws are, I love it. And that's where the nostalgia saves it. It's all like, all right, we're good.
I think I run into a lot of that because the original Ninja Turtles movie, as we all know, is one of my most favorite movies of all time. Yeah. I can watch that movie. I usually watch it several times a year.
Okay.
And it still holds up. Yeah. There's something about that film that just holds up that all these other movies try to come out, and I feel they just don't hold a candle to that original movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, like you mentioned before, it seems like 80s and early 90s, people weren't afraid to do whatever it took in order to make a good film.
Yeah.
And that movie was an independent film.
Yeah.
Trying to get a budget, trying to get you... There was so many things that thing had to go across. It's one of the only independent films that Jim Henson's Creature Workshop worked on.
Yeah, and I think at least, and I'm just saying this, I guess, more for the listeners. Know that I don't say this jabbing or trying to take away points from that movie at all. But when you watch that movie and look at the animatronics, right? Yeah. Their mouths don't move naturally. There's this weird little flip thing that because I watched it again.
It over exaggerates a lot of things,
and it doesn't hit with every with every syllable or whatever that it's supposed to. It's not perfect.
No,
but because of how that story is told and because of and again you understand the time, it doesn't bother me one bit. I don't watch it and go, because if that happened now, or not if that happened now, when that happens now with CG creations or whatever the case is, I do. I'm like, he's not actually talking.
They don't have the
mouthing. Yeah, exactly. They don't have it down right or whatever. And those things irk me. But I watch the first Ninja Turtles movies and it's just all like, no, I'm good.
You can see some scenes when Donatello laughs. You can see the person's...
I knew that's where you were going.
The mouth. You can see his mouth within the mouth. It's creepy that when you know it's there. But there are just little things here and there. And you can tell when they're using one of the non-animatronic heads.
Yeah.
Because they just have this weird smirk.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of staring blankly. Yeah. There's scenes that I notice now that I never noticed as a kid. I was like, that's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
When the foot go into their house, Raphael is eating the apple, and the snarls that you see on all the other turtles are just so unnatural, and it's like they're demonic. It's hilarious to see.
That's funny.
But they don't put a lot of focus because Raphael's talking, so you don't really notice. But if you're paying attention, it's like, what's wrong with them?
and that's actually, I'm glad you pointed that out, because when you for me, RoboCop, Total Recall.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've watched these movies over and over and over,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things that you always, at least now, right? Like you can catch that splice right before like the head goes to explode or whatever the case is. Whereas like at one point it was this, and now it's a dummy, or now it's a cutout or something, and so it stops, and you can spot it. And I've watched movies with other people that are like, how do you see this? How do you know this? And it's like, I mean, me personally, I love watching film. Like I love watching films.
We dissect movies.
Exactly. Like that.
For fun.
For fun. And I don't do it so that way I can go, well, this is a shit, whatever. It's, never should happen again. No, it's enjoyable to go back and appreciate
the
what's
artistry
been put together.
that's put to make this.
Yep.
All the moving parts. Everything's not perfect.
Yeah.
But things that they do a good job of hiding it, because clearly a lot of people don't notice that these things happen.
Exactly. I've definitely given recommendations to people for film where I'm like, no, you'd enjoy this.
Yeah.
and it's a movie that I was like, no, like it's over the top, like, with the story is weak in so many areas.
Yeah.
But fact of the matter is, I know, and I hate for that to sound so pretentious.
Yeah.
Let me use your word.
Yeah.
So bougie.
Yeah.
But it's that, I'm not trying to say that I'm better, at that at all. But it's the fact that like I do look for that whenever I watch a film.
You've seen so many things, what you're looking
and
for.
That's exactly it. And that's how I enjoy film.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's yeah. There's so much that goes on with all that stuff, and so it's definitely a little bit of that rose tinted glasses.
Yeah.
It's it's a little bit of the times where they were pushing things. I mean, as film now progresses, I do look forward to challenge it. You know what I mean? Like push something, try something different. I know, granted, here we are years later, so you can't be like. So I feel like. Essentially someone's going to go, oh, well, now you are going to say that. But when Christian Bale got casted as Batman, zero issues with it. Right.
Yeah.
And I think people were like, oh, really? Like, are you sure? And it was all like, yeah, no, I've seen Christian Bale's other work.
know him.
Yeah. I mean, American Psycho, I'd seen one too many times.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it.
There was that shitty dragon film that he did with Matthew McConaughey or whatever.
Oh,
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
Yep. I'd already seen a few Christian Bale movies,
The
and
Machinist.
I was like, no, I like this. I'd only seen parts of The Machinist but I was like, I respect this guy enough to like, okay, well, let's give it a shot, right? Christopher Nolan was the one that after he sold me on Christian Bale as Batman or whatever, that when they were like, Heath Ledger's going to be the Joker, right? Where I told myself like, well, he ain't let me down, so
like, let's do this.
Yeah, he must know what he's doing, so I'm just gonna go along for the ride. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
What's his name is Cap?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were like, "Are you sure?" And it was all like, "Yeah, no." I mean, I'd watched some of Chris Evans' other work, and Fantastic Four, for better or worse. Like, I was like, I mean, the guy played the part. Like,
he's a good actor. I feel
he is. And so it's like, no, I've got faith that he can pull off. I think he can pull off Captain America. Yeah. And sure as fuck, he pulled off Captain America.
Yeah.
It just so I kind of went off on a tangent.
That's fine. That's what we do here on Buddy Talks. We can go off on those tangents and ride that wave.
But so when when you're looking at all these directors or producers or whatever, that occasionally they'll take something that you don't think fits there and go here, then I look forward to that.
Yeah.
This is something that for anyone who's listened to Ioho, that they'll end up like hearing of this a little bit, right? And I'm going to expand on it a little bit here. Ang Lee, right? Ang Lee is a director that I think continues to challenge himself, right, across different film types, film genres.
Yeah,
I respect that. I don't enjoy all of those movies,
no, but
I respect the fact that like. I mean, my dude's out there. What the fuck did he do? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Mm-hmm. Then he did Hulk. And then he did. I was going to say Breaking Bad, but it's not Breaking Bad. It was Breaking the Back of the other one. The cowboy one. Brokeback. Thank you, live studio audience. Brokeback Mountain. I watched Brokeback Mountain. Like, it was well directed. And I like the fact that this guy, like, he continues to do these different things, and he's got something that's coming out recently. And I'm just like, yes. This is someone who who isn't just kind of leaning back and going, yeah, well, I mean, I guess I could churn out another one just like this, right? I hate to make a dig at him, but Michael Bay.
Oh, God, yeah.
What the fuck does Michael Bay do? Explosions and amazing car chases, like
explosions and action pieces.
Exactly, my man can do it. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? It's all like I know what I'm getting when I go into a Michael Bay film. But realistically, when you go Ang Lee's directing, you got to ask yourself, well, what the fuck am I watching? Because he's not pegged down to one thing.
What am I getting into?
Yeah,
it's like when you watch a Shyamalan Ding Dong flick, you know what you're getting into.
Ding Dong. I like that. That was
you're gonna see some sort of twist.
Yeah,
you're gonna see just like. It's going to try to lead you one way and then take you another direction. And that's definitely something you'll see. You know, going into his movies, like, what's the twist going to be?
Yep.
What's going to happen?
Yep.
But going with your Batman thing, it's like when Ben Affleck got casted as Batman.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
I was with you. I was with the internet.
Hot garbage. No thanks. Then he saw it.
Holy shit.
I'm there.
When they said like, "Yo, he's not doing it anymore," I was like,
sad.
I'm thoroughly disappointed.
I am actually upset.
Yeah, because he did. He fucking pulled it off.
He did.
And this is an actor, and even when he was casted, I mean, I said it right. I don't have an issue with Ben Affleck. I think he's a good actor. I think he's a good director. I watched a couple of. I think he did 3 or 4 major releases or whatever, and I saw 2 or 3 of them, and it was just like. He's not a bad director. Like the dude's talented. No. I don't see him as Batman. But then, sure enough. He fucking pulls it off, and I'm just all like, "Yo, can we put him in a warehouse just one more time? Because like my man's kicking ass here."
Yeah.
Like and he played Bruce Wayne and the Dark Knight, except for the whole crawling across the ceiling.
That
thing.
was a little weird, but
that was fucking hell. But that right, the fact is that somebody said, "Let me try something different," and they did it. I can appreciate that, and so I hope that. As we continue to progress through animation styles and everything, as far as film and television, like, don't be afraid to actually like try and tell, the story a little differently or from a different angle. You and I both saw this recently on Netflix, Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah,
like, granted, I think you and I both like we have our gripes on individual episodes or whatever, but overall, that was fucking sweet.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I love anthology series, and that
it was good.
Yeah, it scratched that itch.
Yeah, it really and for me, it was like again to watch those different types of animation. You know what I mean? To be told those stories, and that is one of those things that I enjoy about like Black Mirror, right? Where each episode, like it's a different movie, all over. And even though it's all part of this one cohesive, like whatever, fact of the matter is I get something a little different each time I watch a different episode. And I love the fact that I watched Love, Death, Robots, and I was like, okay, this was a little different than that one. And I'm not a fan of this animation style, but this story's cool as fuck. Or the other way around. So I like the fact that occasionally something now does drop. I want that to continue being a thing. With media being available in so many different like avenues now, there's no reason why like someone can't try to tell something different.
I think a lot of it has to do with especially getting the funding. Because I saw Peanut Butter Falcon. Okay. I've talked about it before. I still
gotta watch that.
It felt like an indie film. It's Shia LaBeouf. And my feeling on Shia LaBeouf.
He's amazing.
Definitely not. He peaked at Even Stevens. But
damn, you cut him off early.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But this movie was good. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I just said, I was like, if I didn't have A-list, I probably wouldn't have seen it. Gotcha. But because of that, I was like, I'm kind of glad I saw this film.
Yeah.
It was a nice little, it was a departure from what I've been watching lately, like the over-the-top, big, superhero stuff. I love superhero stuff, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a nice change of pace because it was a very grounded, down-to-earth. This is just a character piece. And you don't see that a lot nowadays outside of indie films or anything because studios want to make these big budget spectacles and they want to get a return to make a franchise.
Yeah.
That's what everything is now.
Yeah.
And I don't let Adam hear this, but I totally get why he feels so tired of like the Marvel, how that goes. The only difference for me is that I love that stuff, so I eat it up.
Yep.
So I don't mind it. Give me more.
Yeah.
But I can see his gripe because I'm feeling that way with like when Lord of the Rings came out. everyone was doing that medieval fantasy Tolkien stuff. And I was like, no, I don't like this stuff. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm burned out on Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I actually got a question from the live studio audience that kind of lends to this conversation. It's like, with the change of how we see cinema and entertainment, how much do you think it has to do with parents using TV as a babysitter?
I think it's actually, I mean, a huge thing. And I think that, I guess I can kind of cut both ways, right?
Yeah.
Because yes, a lot of parents are letting their children like sit in front of the television.
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't pay attention to what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you do have, and I think, I don't know the gender or age or whatever, right? But I think there's a very specific group type, right, that actually does, and those are the ones that are vocal. Those are the ones that finally do pay attention and go, oh no, this is way too hard for my kid to see.
Yeah.
And then that's when you end up getting like a huge shift where, well, no, we can't say that. No, we can't do that. No, that can't be on. And again, I understand it as a parent myself, right? I filter what my kids can or can't watch. And I think we kind of touched on that in one of these episodes, actually.
Yeah.
And so, yes, like that's definitely it. And what sucks is that it's 2019. Like it's not just television anymore. You've got it on your tablets, on your phones. I can't tell you how many parents I see hand their phone over to their kid and just let the kid go at it on fucking YouTube, of all things.
Yeah.
Where it's all like, I mean, literally everyone uploads everything. And in the moment that they see something that they don't like over here, they want to apply that rule to everything across the board. And it's all like, that doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Like, and again, and I know that's a separate conversation about the whole parenting thing, but as far as
policing
the art itself, you're doing a disservice to what these things are supposed to, like, what they're meant for, what they were intended for. No one films a movie. Well, no one in their right mind films a movie and go, right, well, I'm hoping that people watch this and then want to fucking massacre, right, a room full of people. No, I want you to watch this. I want you to experience something from it, an emotion or whatever, and credits start rolling, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right? If you learned a lesson, hopefully it's something positive. Hopefully it's something that you can use.
Makes you feel something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. Like, I can appreciate that. The Leftovers is one of the saddest fucking things that I have ever seen in my life.
Series? I love that series.
But it is.
It impacts.
Yeah.
It had me thinking a lot about loss.
Yeah. And that's a show that, again, like it's gut wrenching as you watch it, as you continue to see these characters go through these dark times. And I mean, I guess some could say, right, well, I mean, what's the point in living, really, right? When when all you're going to do is lose it all, right?
Exactly.
No, motherfucker. You just end up dying. Like,
what's the point?
Yeah, that's not the point of this. It's to let you know that, I mean, people feel things.
Yeah. You can get knocked down and people will get back up.
Yeah, and that's it.
They could do this all day.
Take it. You son of a bitch. Take it for what it is. Leave it there. Yeah. Like, there's no reason for you to go like, well, now that I've seen The Leftovers on HBO, which is a paid subscription service, right? I'm going to need you to do this on ABC, Fox, NBC, public broadcasting, everything across the board. Like, no, that's not the way this works. Again, it's not a rule that you can just generalize and put everything under it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like me and the live studio audience, we watched the show This Is Us. I kind of jumped into it after it started.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. That stuff is heart-wrenching, a lot of it.
You might as well pull a Milo Ventimiglia or whatever and kill yourself, right? Or die. I mean, just get it over with.
Yeah, because it's like this whole family goes through so much, and that shit sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't want everyone, and that's the part that kind of blows, is if something's successful, everyone wants to kind of bite that style.
Yeah.
So we're stuck in this point where you have production companies and studios that are afraid of ruffling feathers. Mm-hmm. Then they see something that doesn't ruffle feathers that catches on. They got to copy it.
Copy. Copy paste. And there's no, and they don't add anything new. They don't add anything to, because I can understand improving upon a design, right? I see what you were trying to do there. Let me go ahead and do a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It's all like, I see what you're trying to do there. I need exactly that. I'm going to need 2 white guys, 1 black dude, an Asian lady, you know what I mean? And 4 kids. Like, we got it. Let's do this. We're good. Start filming. No, fuck you. Calm down. I haven't watched any of this show, but you know what I can't stand?
What?
The fact that Black-ish and then Mixed-ish exist, or whatever the fuck that other one.
Have Black-ish, Grown-ish, and now Mixed-ish. Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Stop. For God's sake, stop. Please. We don't need it. It doesn't have to be that.
Yeah. Like, at one point, we got the kind of period pieces set in the 80s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you just see so many of them now.
Goldberg's
is like
that 70s show, that 80s show.
That 80s show. Goldberg's is set in the 80s.
Yeah.
Stranger Things is set in the 80s. You have all these, and it's just like there's so many of it. So much.
Yeah, I can't
so much. I'm just going to, when are we going to get to the point where we're going to see like 90s stuff ripped off?
Yeah. See, and
like a Saved by the Bell.
It's coming. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it does, right? Studios do this with films where all of a sudden you'll notice the theme of this summer is the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right. The theme this summer is a plane getting hijacked. The theme this summer
dystopian teenage future.
Yeah, exactly. All of us are, in our late teens and we're sexually frustrated and trapped together.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can almost guess what time frame it is when you just say those genres.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That like they all just start piggybacking off of this idea. Yeah. And again, let's be fair, right? Some of that's competitiveness, right? Some of that is the studio's like, well, if I can get there first, or if I can pull it off better, then I win. But then what happens after that? Well, now we need to do a part 2.
Yeah.
Now we need to take a 180-page book and make it into 3 fucking movies.
Oh my god.
No.
Fuck you, Hobbit.
Well, the intention was not for you to go ahead and read this book and then tell yourself if you can fit all of the words right in 3 little tablets of paper or whatever, like, and obviously it's not that in depth of a read.
Yeah,
we don't need you to expand on it that much. Leave it alone. It wasn't intended to be like a treatment. No, that was the story. Done.
It's there.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's take this character that was used in something else that has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
And interject him and create a love triangle.
Do it.
Boom.
Yep. We've improved upon the original.
Legolas is now in a love triangle with like Godzilla or whatever, and Gimli. I don't know the characters. I didn't watch his other ones. Yeah. Smaug. I didn't. Smaug. I just couldn't. I saw the first Hobbit, the 15-minute dance sequence of washing dishes. I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Movie, I haven't seen any of those.
I refuse to watch anything else.
The dragon burning the hall or whatever. Yeah. I didn't realize that was the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, it stops here?
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you. The sweet release. It's just thanks.
Yeah, and luckily for me,
it's over.
That's where I started it. So I was just all like, this doesn't feel like it actually hit the end the way that it should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that as studios continue to pump out, like studios like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, like all these things where now they're like, well, now we want to have our own original programming. Like now they're giving an opportunity to a bunch of other, I guess artists out there that just that haven't or wouldn't have had another, chance any other way. Yeah. So just like Love, Death, Robots, I'll use that as the example here. We got something different. We got something that was enjoyable. Yeah. And in a platform that, that's not going to see a theatrical release. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's not going to be on NBC or CB or ABC.
Oh no!
Like it's not. You know what I mean? That's not their storytelling.
Definitely in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna see it elsewhere.
It's like okay, cool. I'm glad someone took a risk there. Yeah. So, thanks for that.
Yeah. So. And I just like the streaming platforms are doing the risks that you don't see anywhere else, and I do appreciate that. Yeah. Another comment from the live studio audience is so you watch a lot of these shows and stuff with your kids, right? Yep. Do you discuss them with your kids?
Sometimes. It depends on the story. There is, and this was some years back. I can't even remember. But right now, right. gay lesbian relationships
Yeah.
or whatever are very very much the norm, at least
Yeah.
publicly, right? It's very much more accepted. I've never had a single issue telling my kids and my daughter's 13 years old, so
Yeah.
from when we had her, like I've never had an issue saying that, like, oh, you got a new boyfriend or you got a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care either way. You know what I mean? So whenever something comes up sometimes in film or on television that it does kind of poke at an injustice somewhere, like, yeah, I do have those discussions with them because I let them know, like, hey, that's not a nice thing. You know, those aren't things I appreciate. You know, the way that people, treat or alienate people in that way. Yeah. I don't, expect that you guys should ever exhibit that behavior. And they're pretty understanding. I use a bit more simplistic words with the younger one. I mean, my youngest right now is 6. So,
Are you serious?
Yeah,
she's like eternally 4 in my life.
Yeah. She's the oldest one in the group.
Wow.
But it's I can appreciate whenever something does come along and point something out like that, where it's all like, okay, there's a life lesson here. So
yeah, like how often does that like happen now?
Not as much.
Like when they see something, they just like, what is up with that?
Yeah, no. Not as much, if I'm being honest with you. I think they're pretty understanding.
Yeah.
Of a lot of aspects of life. I'm gonna attribute that to the fact that we do know, quite a few. I mean, like we know a bunch of people. Is what I'm gonna say, right? Because everyone's got their own story.
Yeah.
We are minorities. We have black, Asian friends. I mean, you might not be.
Oh, okay.
We know people in, male, female relationships, female relationships, divorced, married, partnerships, however they want to refer to each other. And so I think because of that, because they're exposed to so much or whatever, and they notice that there's nothing
wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the norm.
I don't think it bugs them, anywhere near as much. I think right now the worst things that I've experienced lately is bullying, teasing.
Really?
Yeah, where like my 6-year-old came crying not too long ago because some kid told her, you're stupid and you're ugly or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and she told me it hurt my feelings. Like that's what she came home crying and she was all like, he told me I was stupid. But I did my homework and I do my homework all the time.
I will punch a child.
Exactly. He told me that I'm ugly and I was like, and I told her, Bebe, you are beautiful. Like, that some people say mean things because they want to hurt your feelings. Some people sometimes say mean things because they're, dealing with their own things or maybe someone said it to them. And so now they're angry and they're taking it out on someone else. Like, there's a lot of other factors, but know that you are, smart and beautiful and that I love you and that, the people that care about you, like, will always be there for you. Yeah. It's those kinds of things where it's just like, I mean, realistically, we're adults, right?
Yeah.
People say fucked up things all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, you see it a lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. Every day.
You grow tough skin. And I feel like that's a very 80s mentality of me where, like, I'm not going to confront every person that goes, man, fuck you. You ain't nothing but a bitch. And I'm like, all right, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, exactly. You can stay mad because you weren't paying attention and you cut off and then you had to swerve.
Yeah.
Whereas I was going the speed limit and I didn't even have to flinch on my brake. And you're mad at me? I didn't do anything wrong, but fuck me. I'm a bitch.
Yeah. I ruined your day.
Yeah, exactly. But who knows? Yeah. Who knows what's going on in their heads? Who knows what's going on at home?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's all like, okay. You just shrug it off.
I can see it. That's wild.
Yeah.
Gosh, that just sucks, man. That you can deal with that. That's bullshit.
Now, let's rewind real quick because the very first time that my oldest, right, when she was around that age and some kid did like bully her, I was like, I want to see their mom and dad. I'm going to punch them both in the fucking throat in front of the kid. I was like, I'm going to show that kid. Oh, you want to push my kid around? There's your mom.
Yeah.
There's your dad. And that way that kid could be like, what the fuck's going on? I'd be like, I'm the bully, bitch.
Yeah.
Enraged. I mean, it did. It fuels the blood.
So what point did that turn?
A lot of that was, I don't know. I think a lot of internal stuff, right? You kind of understand that, hey, these people are, people go through things. Yeah. So because of that, like, I don't have to chase it down. I don't have to be angry. And And again, that's a different conversation. That's about parenting. You know what I mean? That some parents, like, they don't pay attention, and so because of that, their kids are learning whatever bad habits from whatever other avenues. Who knows what? So, whatever. Let's hope that. I mean, their kids. Let's hope they learn some better things as they grow up. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we all strive to be better people at some point. So
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to make today better than yesterday.
Yeah.
Save the sea turtles. Don't use straws. All that stuff.
Fuck them turtles. Using plastic.
Man, how to become mutant ninjas if you're just going to treat them like that? That's messed up. Come on, man.
They need to eat a radioactive straw. Problem solved. You're welcome, Mikey.
Yeah, that's true.
So, here, let me ask you this, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because we've had this argument over on In Our Honest Opinion or whatever. And I'm going to use
unfiltered.
Huh?
Yeah, now it's unfiltered.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here, right? As the example.
Okay.
You enjoyed the original, right? You love the original.
Yeah.
I think you gave the second one a pass, right? Not as good as the Secret of the Ooze. Yeah.
I loved as a kid. Once I grew up, I realized how much worse it was than the original because of just studio tampering and parents.
It's a different movie for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then even worse so when you go to 3. Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
But you see that it's a franchise, right? That stands the test of time, right?
Yeah.
People want Ninja Turtle movies.
Yeah.
Right? They want their cartoons, especially seeing how many iterations in the past 5 years?
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 from the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, because 2013, I think?
The most recent one
was like CG,
year?
and then we got the Rise one, and we got the Michael Bay movies,
Yeah. So, lots of, different attempts there or whatever. I mean, just stop or continue to experiment?
I'm fine with continuing to experiment. At first, I was upset with Rise.
Yeah.
I was upset with the Michael Bay films.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the second Michael Bay film for a long time.
Yeah.
Instead, I watched Twilight.
Yeah.
Out of principle.
Yeah.
Everyone told me to go ahead and watch it. It took many years. I finally watched it, and that movie is hot trash.
Yeah.
And but I'd say keep innovating, keep trying new things. Mm-hmm. It may not be for me. I understand that. But I also understand that I'm not who they're going after.
Yeah.
Because they got me in the late 80s. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And those are the ones I have. Those are ones that are life for me.
Yeah.
These new ones, definitely not so much, especially Rise. I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
They changed a lot. They changed the characterization of a lot of characters. Hell, I noticed this, Michelangelo, in the most recent years, they made him just a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Before, he was just kind of the wisecracking party guy. No, now he's just an idiot.
Yep.
And that's disheartening to me because he's my favorite, and they just make him into a moron.
Yeah.
But I'm all for continuing to try to push it forward.
Yeah.
Continuing to try to gain more audience. I'll because someone else could have that nostalgia factor that I had, and I don't want to deprive them of that.
Fair.
Because case in point, okay, Minecraft.
Yeah.
Okay. We're older. We missed that whole Minecraft thing. Now you'll see a lot of people, Fortnite versus Minecraft. It's like, Minecraft was my youth. I grew up. That did all this for me.
Yeah.
I was like, that's well and good. That more power to them because that helped create them and forge them, made them into who they are now.
Yeah.
Just like Thundercats, He-Man, Transformers, that made us into who we are.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
A lot of our quips, a lot of our humor developed from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, to me, these new series aren't on the level as what we got before, but hey, it could be something that just kind of spurns a creativity for someone who could make something further down the line. It's like, oh, I see this. I want to expand and improve upon this. I want to make something new. And just keep that going.
Yeah.
Just keep the creativity going.
Yeah. And my son should thank you because of this conversation. I'm going to end up paying for it. But Minecraft is one of those things that, like, I love the idea, right? No fucking way I'm playing it. Like, I'm sorry. I can't. I've tried, can't do it.
It's not for me.
But what's crazy is that whenever my sons actually, because they both love to play it, come running towards me and be like, look what I built, look what I did, or whatever. And it's all like, I can't help but smile. I'd be like you built something. You know what I mean? I get that it's a video game, but like block by block, the different types of blocks, like
something.
Exactly, like you did something, and that's fucking awesome. Like, whereas me in my mind, I'm like, give me a first person shooter because I want to splatter these bullets, all over this. Fuck no! Like, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. You know, that idea where like continue to push, continue to innovate, continue to try, because as a Superman fan myself, right?
Yeah.
Look, hands down, Christopher Reeve will forever be the Superman.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
It doesn't change, right? What's his name from Tim Burton's Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton will forever be the Batman for me, right? Like, but there was a Batman before him. You know what I mean?
And
like,
I hated that Batman.
There was a Superman before Reeves.
And it wasn't bad, but
exactly. But and so with that same idea, right? That like, that's what did it for me. That's what I held on to.
Yeah.
And as they've continued to try Superman, you know, different films. I mean, Smallville, Dean Cain, right? The Adventures of Superman, with and Lois Lane or whatever.
Terry Hatcher as Lois Lane, yeah,
like those things, right? They didn't stick like for me. You know what I mean? At all. No. Even the original Flash with what's his name?
Yeah.
You remember that show, right?
Yep.
Like all of those things, like I still appreciate the fact that like they're trying something here.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to tell it. I appreciated what Smallville was trying to do with telling the story of younger Clark Kent. Even the adventures of the Superman, Clark Kent and Lois Lane, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of that fucking show?
Lois and Clark, New Adventures
Lois and Clark.
Superman.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But that, right? Like even that, like I appreciated to some extent what they did there, what they were trying to do there. Henry Cavill as, you know, the next Superman, like, fuck yes. And those stories were told differently.
Yeah.
Like, and I appreciate little things there. Now, granted, the Henry Cavill stuff stuck with me way more than what Dean Cain,
definitely,
is doing or whatever. Or Tom Welling.
Early Tom Welling for me. Like the first 3 seasons. Yeah. I was in it.
I was, man. Yeah. I did. It was good. But that, right, where like at least I appreciate the fact that like, they tried something. It didn't work out. Okay. Well, then what's the next thing? You know, what's going to happen here? So I mean, I'm on board with you. Like, continue to push, continue to innovate. Let's see what the fuck happens next, because it very well could be great.
Yeah. And by all means, like, continue to push, but we still have a voice that we can say that we don't like it.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
And that's okay. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the funny part. This is an entirely new conversation, but I think it's funny how you get people who want to say that your view is wrong, your opinion is wrong, because like I see what they're doing, not for me. Don't like it.
Note that, by the way, as an episode topic, your opinion is wrong.
Yeah,
like and we'll have that discussion,
because we definitely could get into it all the time. Case in point, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
we have 3 iterations.
Yeah.
And for me, it hurts my heart every time they say Tobey Maguire is the best one.
Yeah.
It hurts me.
I could see that.
But I totally agree, man. Just keep pushing forward. Keep doing new creative stuff, because you might get something, a new spin on it that I like.
Yeah.
Because I can see... Let's jump back. X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they've been around since forever.
Yeah, what was that, 99 or 2001?
No, I'm talking about the comics.
Oh,
when they the advent of the X-Men.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what people saw when the series came out.
Yeah.
I was like, we have the Jim Lee teams were the big the teams. Yeah, Jim Lee's X-Men blue and gold team. Mm-hmm. They weren't really like that originally, and people were probably like, "Oh, well, this isn't my X-Men. This is something else."
You're right, and all I remember is blue and gold.
But that's my touchstone.
Yeah, that's exactly
the thing that brought me in to the fold. And we get more because I'm a new person who's into it now.
Yeah.
So it pushes along. It's like, okay, there's still interest in this.
Yeah.
But fast forward, we have X-Men Evolution. That was the touchstone for a lot of other people. For me, not as great.
Yeah.
But it was a new spin on it when they're all in high school. Okay. Pushing it forward again. Then we got the movies.
Yeah.
where Bryan Singer was just in love with Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah, he was.
And then they had Wolverine and the X-Men. That was another animated series that come out. And it's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Just like mutants.
Nice. And you're right. I mean, that was one of those, that's one of those where I enjoyed the original X-Men film at the time. X2 was a huge like evolution of it. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Where I think that one vastly improved what they had in the original. But then you go watch X-Men First Class, which again was different.
That pulled me back in.
And I'm sorry, but X-Men First Class is a much better film than the original X-Men. Nostalgia purely is what's saving that original X-Men film for me. Yeah. Like, and so that's, and you see something more, but then sure enough, they fucked that up too.
Oh yeah.
Like
Bryan Singer came back.
Yeah. Like that went to shit too. And so at the end of it all, like, but I still love the fact that they continue to try, right? They continue to push. They continue to spin something. What if we do it this way? And initially I wasn't on board. I was like, X-Men First Class? What's the point of that?
I was like, I'm not going to see this movie.
And then boom, we're stabbing Nazis in their hands, throwing knives into the backs of others, and then coming right back. And I'm just all like, this is amazing.
Yeah. He just killed that man with a quarter.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But definitely keep pushing. Definitely keep being creative and innovating, because who knows what this will spark in someone to create the next big thing.
Nostalgia goes nowhere or whatever, but evolution is definitely the best way of combining that with innovation. So.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to stomach some of the change, but hey, I do it and I just keep moving because I still have mine. Yeah. But yeah, I think this was a really good discussion.
I enjoyed.
If you have any questions, or feel free to comment to us, feel free to hit us up at any one of our things. We have innerhonestopinion.com or buddytalkspod.com.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Instagram at Twitter at The Artful Gent. Where can they find you, Will?
You can find me on Twitter at the Artful Gent over at Krypton's Will.
That's usually what I do. But and yeah, thanks again for listening. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take it easy.
See you.